Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? This is Manga here, and I hope you're having a great day. If you see me looking down, I'm just checking out the stream, making sure everything is going good. Because earlier I was streaming, but it wasn't going up at all. So I'm just checking it out, make sure everything is good. Everything is initialized. Uh, Shout out to Digital Math for providing me with this song. Well, not me. It's a copyright free song that I could utilize. So, all right, here you go. This is me from my personal. Cool. All right, just wanted to make sure everything is going good and looking. So if you're joining the stream, just drop a comment so that I know you're there. I'm watching from my computer now, and we're gonna get started with the music. Not the music, the actual the news, right? All right, so let's get started with this. So we're just the picture that you see here, it's gonna change throughout the stream so that you know what's going on. So first and foremost, I hope everyone is having a great day and you're just enjoying your Sunday morning so far. So we're gonna get started with some news, and we have an overwhelming amount of news for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So let's get started. All right. So Comic-Con, we know Comic-Con is about to um, just wrap up, right? Today is the last day, but I think we got most of the grandiose news yesterday. Saturday is when usually we get the biggest amount of news. So um, basically, Kevin Feige and the rest of the team let us know about everything when it comes to Phase 4, their plans for Phase 4. Now, a lot of them are to be determined in terms of dates. So some of those we're going to go over in a little bit. So first and foremost, first movie that's going to be released is The Eternals. So the Eternals are, hmm, how do we describe the Eternals? Eternals are like the demigods of the Marvel cinematic and comic book universe, right? And they're just gonna play a big part into the kind of like the celestial realm, right? When I say celestial, I simply mean everything that's happening with gods and just not really gods, but how things were made and who are the people, they have the powers. I think they could tie in the Kree Empire again with the Eternals because they have a big backstory, right? So let's see. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with that. Next movie on our list that's coming out is, and I'm excited for, is Black Widow. Now, with Black Widow, everyone, there's gonna be a lot of tie-in in terms of like what's happening with the movies, the past movies, just in terms of story development. But what I'm really excited for is the actual villain who's going to be Taskmaster. Now, if you're not privy into who Taskmaster is basically he's it's hard to say that he's a villain, but he just he because he does anything for hire. So I'm going to say he's a mercenary, and he has the ability he has the highest level of cognitive um, reflexes in terms of ability to copy, right? So he could copy anyone's fighting style, movement based technique, and he could just master it just like that. So he's really cool. I think he'll be a good villain for Black Widow. And yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for it. Next movie on our list is talking about martial arts is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So number one, Shang-Chi is um, he's a martial artist. Now I know he's kind of reminiscent to Bruce Lee, but he's how it stands in the comic book realm. He is one of the greatest martial artists, if not the best martial artist in that realm, right? So he doesn't have any powers in the comic books. I think he recently was given some kind of like ability to copy himself, um, kind of like multiple man. But prior to this, he doesn't really have any superpower, right? He just has the ability to fight, find weaknesses, exploit them through martial arts techniques, and that's about it. And I think he would be a great inclusion into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, it says Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So, Ten Rings, first person who pops into my head is the Mandarin. Now, the Mandarin, or a spoof of the Mandarin, was introduced in Iron Man 3. Now, again, it was just a spoof, and maybe that was just the foretelling of the actual character, not the real Mandarin, right? So I'm excited for this movie. Now, I don't know if it's really the Mandarin, but I'm just putting two and two together when I see the Legend of the Ten Rings, right? So we'll see. It should be a great movie and a great adventure. So yeah, looking forward to it. Number four on our list, or not number four, but the next movie on our list is, I'm really excited for this one. I think out of all of the movies, I am most excited for this one, just because I'm looking at the title. So the title is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And recently, this has been labeled as the first horror-based movie in the lineup of Since All the Phases, right? So this is going to be really amazing. A lot of people speculate that the villain for this movie will be Nightmare. Nightmare is man, he's wildly powerful in the sense that he just feeds off of nightmares, right? But his ability spans throughout all of his existence. So any being that technically has a nightmare, he could feed off of that power and then exploit it in that way. Um, the second reason that I'm excited for it is because it says the multiverse, right? Now, in Spider-Man, spoiler alert, um, Mysterio, when he posed to be a good guy, he talked about the multiverse and how he labeled our universe, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as a 616. Now, of course, if you watch the movie, you know that he was lying about himself and everything. So, and a lot of people speculate, well, was he lying about the multiverse numbering, right? Because we know that the comic book realm is the 616 main continuity, and you can't have two 616s, right? So I think that's he was lying about the multiverse, but that was kind of a foreshadowing to the labeling of a multiverse, right? And we know there was a multiverse since Doctor Strange, the first one, in terms of him just like being blasted through the different verses in order to find himself, right? Which is a crazy way for him to find himself. All right, next on our list in terms of movies coming up, we have, and this one is to be determined, but we know Black Panther 2 is going to come out. It did phenomenally well in the first one, and we're going to have another one coming up pretty soon. So that's pretty exciting to see when it comes out. If I keep looking down, I'm just trying to check duality in terms of streams. All right, next on our list, there's nothing too much to say about Black Panther 2. It's just it's happening, right? Same thing with the next one, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We know that it's gonna happen. Um, Without a doubt, it's happening, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how it explores the just the universe in a sense. There's so many characters that can be introduced just through this team alone. That it's just it should be a good time, right? Next on our list we have, and this one I'm going to talk about a little bit longer, is Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be both exciting and controversial. The reason being is because it's exciting because Thor is back. It's going to be a little bit controversial because we are going to have a new Thor. And the new Thor comes in the form of Natalie Portman. Now, it doesn't mean that Chris Helmsworth is not going to be in the movie. He's going to be in the movie, but Natalie Portman is going to take up the helm of Thor as well in the movie, and she's going to pick up the hammer. Now, the reason why that's a little bit controversial is not because she's a woman, uh, unless you're ignorant and you feel like that's a problem. That's not a problem to me at all. The problem is her proving her worth as being worthy to pick up the hammer in the span of a movie. Unless the reason why I'm saying that is because it's completely understandable. Spoiler if you haven't watched Endgame, is that it was understandable for Captain America to pick up the hammer, right? He's done many things throughout his life through self-sacrifice and just like altruism, like so many different things to be able to pick up the hammer itself. But for Natalie Portman, she has done quite a bit, but we haven't seen her. I think that's what it is. We haven't seen her since the first Thor movie. And because we haven't seen her, heard anything for that matter, it kind of puts us in a place where we're like, how does she get a chance to pick up the hammer? Now, we do know that in the comic books, Jane Foster, which is Natalie Portman, she does get a chance to get the hammer, right? And she gets the hammer through the means of being worthy. She does succumb to, not succumb to, but she does get cancer in the comic books and is able to use Thor's hammer in order to rejuvenate herself for the time being, to become a Thor-like figure, a Lady Thor-like figure. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how they're gonna just put it in a movie, because it's she's gonna become worthy in the span of a movie, unless they have done something where she has, throughout the years since we haven't seen her, she's been doing a lot of great things that just proves her worth, right? My fear is that I don't want them to downplay the worthiness of Thor's hammer, right? So I don't want everyone just getting the hammer eventually. Um, if anything, I would love to see Beta Ray Bill, but I don't think they're gonna do that right now. But I would love to see Beta Ray Bill, and for him not to pick up Thor's hammer, they could exclude that and just have him have his own hammer, so to speak. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm still excited for it, because I believe Marvel will play it in a way that makes sense. So, just quick picture, you know, that's a picture from, I think Thor 2, right? Because she was in Thor 2 as well, right? Or Thor 1. So we'll see how that plays out, right? I just know that it's gonna have to play out a lot differently from the comic books, and the reason being is because Odin is no longer alive, and he played a part in the sense of, feeling like she was worthy enough to have the hammer. So it just had a lot of debate, right, in the comic books itself, and I think that was purposely done because we were seeing the debate version from and controversy through, Odin, through his eyes, because it represented a lot of people how they felt about, like, oh, where's our Thor, right? Where's our Thor? Um, but yeah, I'm still excited for it, and I'm optimistic about what Marvel will do with the character and how they'll, make her into a wonderful Thor, right? I think it's going to be amazing. All right, next on the list that we know is going to come out for sure is, Captain Marvel 2. Now, in this news, I'm trying to be as optimistic as possible, but I am not a fan of Captain Marvel at all. But I'm optimistic in the sense of, where they're going to go with it, and eventually, hopefully, they will do something that's grand and great for the character to make her great, and to also have a story. I just think that, in the last couple movies that she's been in, well, the last two movies, the origin story was a little bit weak, for me, and I don't think the writing was, done up to par with the other Marvel movies, right? So I hope she was in a vanilla movie, meaning that that was her first movie, and then she had a little cameo. I'm gonna say a little bit of a cameo in Endgame. It was actually pretty big, but it wasn't enough for her to show her true acting. So I hope in her second iteration of the movie that she does really great, and the story is just really drives the whole entire, feel of it. So I want to feel immersed in the movie, right? So previously, um, yeah, I just talked about that. Aggressively relaxing. There's gonna be a lot, so I'm gonna go back to that, just real quick. So yeah, so she's definitely coming. I'm excited for it. There's going to be a lot of controversy, as I was just talking about, earlier. That there's um, the controversy really comes in the form of, uh, well, for me, it's not because she's a woman, right? I don't really care. She could be anything she wants to be, but, for me, the controversy comes in the form of her picking up the hammer and becoming worthy in the span of a movie. Now, I know she's done great things since the first iteration of, Thor 1, but for her to pick up the hammer, it just seems like it's starting to become watered down. I completely understand why Captain America received the hammer, but then for her to have the hammer, they're just gonna have to really forge, and I really mean that when I say they're gonna have to really forge a great story in order to tell why she's able to become worthy and have the hammer, right? Unless she's gonna get a new hammer that is different from Thor's hammer, which I don't want them to water that down either because I don't want a whole bunch of hammers all over the place, right? That's being forged. But anyway, I'm excited for it. Let's continue. In terms of Captain Marvel again, I'm just hoping that they have a really good story and the acting is good, and that's about it. Next on our list, and I'm super excited for this one, is Blade. Blade is coming back, right? This reboot for Blade is gonna be amazing, and we have a perfect actor, Ali. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, so I'm not gonna butcher it. His last name is Ali, and he's been in a couple of different movies, right? He's been in Alita, he's been in House of Cards, he's been in a couple of other things, right? He's been in Luke Cage as Cottonmouth. Yeah, I think I didn't realize how much he kind of represents that look of Blade himself. So that's pretty cool to know that they really did pick a good actor. And I think Kevin Feige said that actually he's the one who reached out to them, right? In regards to it. So yeah, I'm excited for it. There's not that much I could say except there's so much that they could do with this character himself, right? Hold on, I keep looking down, but I'm gonna put the chat up on the right hand side. Yeah, okay, so that way I could see it and not have to do this all the time, right? So I'm excited for this, and I'm excited for his character. A lot of people are like, Wesley Snipes is you know, our character, our basically our Blade, but things have to change. You know what I mean? Things have to change. They can't stay the same. Oh, interesting. Thank you, aggressively relaxing. He was saying that they will probably give her the weapon she received at the end of War of Realms. It's a bracelet that turns into whatever weapon she wants. Huh, interesting. And the reason why I think that's interesting, a lot of people just theorize that she would be the Valkyrie, right? In War at the end of War of Realms. But here's the thing: we already have our Valkyrie, and she's already going to be in the movie. I'm just kind of theorizing right now because that makes a lot of sense. So if she gets kind of like an artifact, her initial thought will be something like, "I want to be like the person that I care the most about," and that might be Thor. And she might have her own version of a hammer. That makes sense. That makes sense. Like she goes, oh man, now the question is like the adventure to like find it, which would be pretty cool, right? If they kind of do like a Dungeons and Dragons type of thing, right, where they're going on an adventure and she becomes the Thor. Oh, see, that's why I like talking to the community because sometimes when you're in your own thoughts, you're just like, I don't know how they're gonna do that, right? Um, yeah, yeah, definitely. So kind of, yeah, this character, he looks like Blade. He looks like Blade. And recently we got a comic book for I'm gonna see if I can bring it up real quick. We got a comic book for Wolverine versus Wolverine versus Blade, and people were just like, "Where did this come from?" Like it just came out of nowhere. But obviously it did not come out of nowhere. Marvel, they know what they're doing, and this is why I'm gonna make a video on on Blade coming up pretty soon. I might do another live stream a little bit later, but this one will be, just to talk about the character himself. Can't really find the picture right now. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for where it's gonna go because now we know that it's gonna open up so many different aspects. I think we're ready for the reboot of the vampire realm, right? And years back, nearly a decade now. If we, wow, that seems like a while ago. We had like the Twilight series and all these vampire movies that were coming out, but the vampires in those movies weren't done well. They were not done well, and because they kind of stared away from the reality of what vampires really do. They're not really into the emotional scale. They're hungry, right? And I don't think they were done well, but I think now that Blade is coming back, I'm saying it like I'm singing, I'm harping his return, right? Now that Blade is coming back, we're gonna get some real vampire movies, the real understanding of what vampires are, right? Anytime I kind of think about vampires, I go straight to um, Castlevania, right? If you watch that Netflix series, the animation or play the game, that's those are vampires. They'll eat you alive. They'll talk about it, but they're talking about what they're gonna do next, right? Yeah, aggressively relaxing. Wolverine slash Blade comic book that was really good. So I'm waiting for part two, because I know it said part one, so hopefully there's a part two. All right, next on the news, because I'm ranting a little bit, but I'm loving it, is this is happening. To be determined, but we are gonna get a Fantastic Four movie, and if anything, I think I'm not sure if they said when. I know it's gonna be to be determined. I wonder if this is gonna be kind of like the end of the phase itself, right? Meaning like the last movie that comes out will kind of give a premise or a foresight cameo into Fantastic Four for the next phase. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the reboot. There's so much things that they could do. Um, yeah, I definitely think that they could easily put this character into the movie. These characters into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All right, next on our list, we're gonna go into the collectibles, and then we're gonna go back, and then I'm gonna have like a Q&A discussion time, so we could talk about what's going on with all these movies. Quick collectibles. Um, this was a San Diego Comic Con. Just thing, right? The statue. This looks amazing. If you're a collectible, if you're a collectible, if you're a collector, the this Mark One statue seems to be like a great thing to get, right? I wish I could collect it, but those are so expensive, and I'm not at Comic Con. I think it's exclusive just for San Diego Comic Con, but of course, it's going to be released later on. Um, Now we're going to get into our manga and comic book recommendations. I already mentioned one of them already, so we're going to that's why I couldn't find the picture because it's in the folder that I moved it to for this video. But first, manga is Grappler Baki. Now, Grappler Baki is my all-time favorite fighting manga, and it's it's everything, right? It's kind of like my fighting martial arts Bible, right, so to speak. Now, one of my brothers, he put me onto Grappler Baki, and ever since then I've been in love with it. The releases, everything they've had, the animation adaptations, the Netflix one that's really good. Can't wait for season three, even though I read like far ahead of that already, but I'm still excited for it. Now the creator has done a remake of Grappler Baki number one. So if you go on, various, you could go online and find this, but I would say definitely support it if you see it online and buy it. It's really good. The aspect of the manga itself is about Baki, who is a martial artist, and he wants to become the strongest fighter, right? Or the strongest grappler itself. And grappler in this sense really means a person who explores the martial arts realm and does fighting, so to speak. His father's name is Hanma Yujiro, who is labeled as the strongest creature on the planet. Now, it's he's a lot and more, but I want you to go and read it yourself because it is a great manga. And if you're just getting into it, I would say start with this remake of it. So Grappa Baki, you could just say Grappa Baki new, and you'll be good to go. Um, yeah, next on our list, and last for our new segment, and then we'll go back and talk about some of these other things, are and I said it earlier, is Wolverine versus Blade. We were just talking about it aggressively relaxing. Wolverine versus Blade number one. It's just a great comic book. Just like a fun ride to get into. Uh, and it came at a perfect time, right? It came at a perfect time when you're just like, oh snap! Like they're just released, they're talking about releasing a Blade movie, and we have a comic book that just came out a couple weeks before. Um, Fun times. It's it's just a hack and slash. It's good to see how Blade and Wolverine interact with each other, right? So go out and read that, check it out, and maybe I'll do a review for that comic book, a really in-depth review a little bit later. All right, everyone. So here's a time when I open it up for questions, um, and we're gonna go back to each and every one. Eternals, we talked about this. Um, they have a huge story, but I'm not too sure how they're really gonna link everything. If this is gonna be one of the movies that links um, just other high beings, right? Like the Celestials, um, as kind of like the seeder of worlds, right? So if a Celestial is kind of like the main bad villain, right? And the Celestials, they're not really bad in the sense, but they are just kind of like threats, right? So I wonder if they're gonna be the villains in the movie. So we'll see. We'll check it out next. So again, if you have anyone who's watching the stream right now, if you have any questions or just thoughts that you would like me to talk about, just drop it here. Black Widow is coming out, and we know that Taskmaster is gonna be the villain of the movie. So let's see what happens with that. Next we have um, Shang-Chi, right? Which is gonna be awesome. I'm excited for this and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And like I talked about earlier, I do think that um, it might be the Mandarin, because the Mandarin has 10 rings, right? He has 10 rings, and he could be that character who's gonna, you know, who has the 10 rings and poses like the biggest threat to the in the movie. What I'm doing right now as we're talking is I'm just bringing up pictures so that I could pull up the actor, um, and just I don't know his name, but I still want to pull up a picture of the actor and also a illustration representation of Shang-Chi, which is right here. Pretty cool, right? Oh yeah, going back to aggressively relaxing said Salma Hayek in the internals. Yeah, it's funny and not funny that she's in there, right? Because she's beautiful. She, oh man, that woman's beautiful. The reason why I'm saying it's funny is because they have a lucrative cast the the Eternals movie. Um, yeah, let me see if I could bring up a quick picture. The cast for the Eternals is amazing. They have yeah, I can't even remember all the names, but the cast is okay. So I'm gonna read off the names, right? So they have Angelina Jolie, which is Thena, I think you pronounce it. We have Madog Siok, and he plays the Forgotten One. Um, oh man, I have to let me see if I could get a big picture for you all so that we could just let's just look at the cast right here. Yeah, all right, here. Found a really good picture. Here we go. That has everyone, and I'll read off the names because this cast is here's the cast, everyone. This cast is a good cast, right? The only person, oh no, she's there. Angelina Jolie is there. Um, yeah, so that's the cast for the Eternals. Angelina Jolie, Madong Seok, Richard Madden, and a lot of people know him from Game of Thrones. Uh, I can't pronounce his name. Kumail Najini and Salma Hayek. We have Brian Tyree Henry. We have Lauren Ridloff, and we also have Leah McHugh, right? And I'm for not forgetting one person. Not too sure why her name wasn't here. Um, Millie Bobby as well, right? And we know her predominantly from Stranger Things. So yeah, this is a wow, this is a cast. And it's pretty cool because they're gonna be the godlike characters of the movie, right? So I'm excited to see these characters in the movie. What do you all think about that? What do you think about the cast? I definitely agree that this cast is going to be phenomenal in the sense of just what they're able to do with these characters, and also just in general, the connection beyond that. And when I say beyond that, is because I'm excited to know what comes beyond their introduction to the movie, right? All right, let's get back into our just kind of our rundown for the movies that are coming out. Shang-Chi. Now, again, this is the one that I'm most excited for. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, I didn't get to talk about this earlier in the stream, but um, now I didn't put any of the not the Netflix, sorry, the Disney streaming shows that are coming out, but WandaVision. Now that's the title of it, WandaVision, right? It's not Wanda, it's not Wanda and Vision, it's WandaVision, which is strange to me, hence Doctor Strange. The reason why this is um, interesting to me, everyone, is because it's actually going to be a show that links to the movies. Now, they already said that WandaVision will link into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness because Wanda or Scarlet Witch, she will be in the movie. She will be in the movie itself. So I'm pretty excited for that. Um, but now it kind of forces my hand a little bit because now I feel like I need to get the streaming service and I don't want to. I don't want to. I didn't want to, but if it's a movie that kind of like bridges a great story into a movie, then it makes sense. Um, oh man, I really didn't want to get it. I didn't want to get the streaming service, but I might get it. What do you all think about that aspect of it? Um, Now, like I was speaking about before, I there's a lot of speculation that Nightmare will be um, the big baddie of this movie. So Nightmare, let me tell you, Nightmare is a I don't even know how they're gonna, but you know what? Doctor Strange always messes with just crazy villains in the sense of Nightmare is a character that is very powerful in the sense that he draws his powers from nightmares, right? But he doesn't draw his powers from just nightmares from the people on a particular planet. He draws his powers from pretty much any being in the universe, and I want to say the multiverse, right? Um, that has some type of inclination or has some kind of aspect of having a nightmare, right? So he's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna kind of be reminiscent to kind of like a Freddy Krueger type of movie, right? And this is Nightmare right here, everyone's quick picture of Nightmare, and this is gonna be the movie that really represents um, just so much, right? Um, in terms of where they're going. Now, multiverse, I'm excited for because, again, it's gonna give an understanding into the many realms there are. But with Scarlet Witch, the reason why I'm excited that Scarlet Witch is in the movie is because I think she's about to become the Scarlet Witch that we know and love, in the sense of the all-powerful Scarlet Witch, but also at the same time, we know that her powers derive from the Infinity Stones, but we all Infinity Stones. Which one is it? Is it um? But yeah, beyond that, she's. I want to see her gain the ability to come more in tune with um, Hex abilities, right? Which is Wicca and things of that nature, because she is Scarlet Witch. So I want to see her um, don the abilities of, or don the mantle of Scarlet Witch by the end of the movie, right? Oh yeah, yeah, they said that that's gonna be the first. I mentioned that early in the stream. That's gonna be the first scary Marvel film, and I am excited for that. I love horror films in general, so the aspect of them doing it is just gonna be amazing and immersive. So the first Doctor Strange movie, you could tell that they did a lot in that movie, but they were also tinkering with certain ideas, right? They were just like, let's try it out. Let's not make it too overwhelming for the viewers, but just enough, right? And I think after in Endgame, they're just like, we could do what we wanted to do, right? We can make it as crazy as we want. We have enough money. We have the budget to do it. And with Nightmare as a villain of that movie, that's it. That's it. It will be a scary movie. I don't see it any other way. It won't be rated R, but I don't even think in terms of the realm of how scary movies are, a lot of jump scares and things like that. They don't need to make it rated R. Um, they just need to make it just immersive and to the point where you're just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Is this really a dream or is this real life? What's going on? Ba, 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 and it's theorizing beyond that. So excited for that. I'm really super excited for it. Um, yeah, I out of all the movies, I'm most excited for this because I'm really into brain bending movies, and this is gonna be one of those movies that is brain bending, right? Um, Next, we talked about Black Panther. It's coming out. Don't really know what story they're gonna derive from or where it's gonna go. Um, but there's a couple of things that they could do. They have like the agents of Wakanda. If they want to take it above and beyond, they could start doing the kind of like by the end of the movie, they start planning for the planet Wakanda to kind of like work with the Alpha Flight, as which was teased at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, right? There's a couple of things they could do. So many that I can't even name right now in stories. His ability to connect with the Panther God and just probably get even more powerful than he already is right now if there's like a bigger threat on a larger scale. But they're probably going to do more of kind of like an inner civil war type of thing. Well, actually, no, they can't do that again because they already did it in the first Black Panther. So I wonder how it's gonna go. Or did they say that what's his name from Namor? I think Namor is gonna be the main villain, right? Or is that just speculation? I don't know. I didn't read that particularly, but I think I've heard that on forums and seen it on other videos that Namor might be the villain of the movie. We'll see. We'll see how that kind of pans out, right? Next on our list, again, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. Excited for this. Not too much that I have to say about Guardians of the Galaxy again. Just more or less that I'm excited for it. And I do honestly, I know movies do and comic books do team ups a lot, right? But I do hope that Thor isn't like a mainstay in the Guardians of the Galaxy. And the reason being is because I want him to be in his own movies, his own team ups, but I don't want certain characters in the Guardians of the Galaxy to be overshadowed, right? Because I could see how his brute strength and just charisma as an actor could overtake a lot of the other characters. Not Star Lord per se, but I could see yeah, just a bunch of other people. So I'm just very hopeful for the movie, and hopefully the Guardians of the Galaxy has some kind of tie-in with the Eternals, because that would make a lot of sense in terms of the celestial kind of realm of the outer space galactic type of realm there is, right? And in Guardians of the Galaxy there was a lot of unused elements, right? So So yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for it, right? Uh, we talked about Thor, Love and Thunder, and Jane Foster will be a Thor in the movie. And aggressively relaxing, you had a really good theory that if they are going to derive from certain stories, that at the end of uh, just basically, um, let me go back up to your comment so that I could give you proper credit. That at the end of War of Realms, that she received a bracelet that turns into whatever weapon she wants. Now she could utilize that into just kind of like her admiration for Thor and just utilize a weapon that seems reminiscent of him, and then she becomes her own Thor. Again, that's speculation, but it seems to make a lot of sense, right? And the reason why I'm leaning towards that than any other is because for her to pick up for her to pick up his hammer would mean that he lost his hammer again. Oh, but you know what? I just thought about this, right? Um, Thor only has Stormbreaker, and Stormbreaker isn't a hammer that's relevant. It doesn't really have to do with anything when it comes to worthiness, right? I think, I, if I'm not mistaken, anyone could pick up that hammer, but only gods could probably utilize the full capacity of that, or only Thor could utilize the full capacity of that hammer itself, right? Hmm, interesting. So that would mean that Jane Foster does get her hammer, her own version of a hammer, through other means, because I don't see her just saying like, "Oh, now I have Stormbreaker, now I have all of Thor's powers," right? That's not the case. Hmm. Interesting. So that just leads me to think, see, going through the stream, I'm starting to think about a whole bunch of other things. So your uh your theory aggressively relaxed and makes a lot more sense that maybe she will find an artifact and she gains the power of Thor in that way, and she just labels herself Thor. We'll see. I'm gonna have to do a theory video later on. Captain Marvel too. So much they could do with her. Hopefully they do it 10 times better than they did in the first one. The people, honestly, the enemies or the villains that she goes against, they're gonna have to be wildly and vastly powerful because she's already proven herself to be super powerful. Now the only now you could tell at the by the end of Endgame, she was going against Thanos, right? But and she did get hit away by the Power Stone, but you could tell that they just did that to kind of put her off screen a little bit, so she could help everyone else because she's they put her in a place that she is the most powerful Avenger right now. Um, yeah, because Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, they beat Thanos, with their wits and skill sets, but just like their teamwork. But Captain Marvel, she's really powerful, and I'm not a fan of Captain Marvel, but I do know what I see, right? I'm not gonna be foolish and be like, oh, she's not that powerful. No, she's already been labeled and shown as the most powerful Avenger right now, right? Even though I could argue that Doctor Strange is actually the most powerful Avenger. Um, so, but we're not gonna get into that right now. Blade, I'm hyped for this. My number one I'm excited for is Doctor Strange, and number two is definitely Blade. And my boy right here, he is gonna play Blade, and I'm excited for that. I don't see, any other person. Oh, I'm just now. I was scrolling the whole time. How come I don't see you guys on the chat? What is going on? What is going on? So I do gotta look at my phone. I I didn't even see you guys. Hold on. Let me take a quick pause because the it is not linking the whole entire chat. Um, so shout out to Thomas Wayne. What's up, Thomas? Shout out to Wing Ren. Let's go. Um, I like that comment. That that's why she's in a different universe because uh because she can't beat Batman. Uh you know what? If you look in the definition for plot device, you would see Batman's picture right next to it because there's no one who's beaten there's no one who's gonna beat Batman in itself, right? It's crazy. Um, yeah. All right. So, yeah, the new Blade, I am excited for. I am super excited for it, right? Let me just refresh the chat because that's probably why I couldn't see all of your awesomeness pop up as I was talking. So, I'm excited. I think they picked the perfect actor for this Blade movie. I'm not even mad that Wesley Snipes is not gonna be Blade. And let me just take this off. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm not mad at all, right? So next, let's go to what was another news aspect that we talked about. Um, this is happening, right? Uh, the Fantastic Four, they're coming. They're coming. um, to be determined. We don't know when, but we know that they're coming, and that's exciting to know that that they'll be here. The first Marvel family will be here, right? And they are the first Marvel family, so they're just gonna be coming a little bit later, right? Um, Exciting to see the casting. I already think I know who they're gonna cast. I mean, we already see John Krasinski, right? Is just yeah, they're just it's just exciting to see. So Fantastic Four actors. I'm just looking up a quick picture so I can put it up on the screen. Uh, Now, all of the reboots that we've had so far for Fantastic Four, they have been horrible. They've been horrible, right? And it's what There's nothing we can really do about it other than it's just been horrible, right? But you can't tell me, and I'm saving a picture right now. I'm about to pull it up right now. You can't tell me that my man John Kavorsky does not look like he could be the perfect Reed Richards, right? And Emily Blunt, who's his wife, she's the perfect Invisible Woman. Um, I don't know. He's not just an actor in the office. He's been making some good movies lately. Really excited to see him and his inclusion in the if he is, but he will be. I'm calling it. He will be in the movie. He will be, just without a doubt. Looking at the chat real quick. Lasted 80 years and he's human. Uh, yeah, Batman. Yeah, Batman is he's so powerful that I think he'll probably make a cameo in like Doctor Strange and just be like, I'm Batman and don't come over into my universe. I'm out. That's it. Um, yeah, it I'm excited for that. Let's see. I think that was the last movie news update. Now, there's a couple things I didn't mention, such as, well, I'm going to mention right now. Um, the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. It's going to be on the Disney live streaming service, but the only one that I'm really excited for on that service is the Scarlet Witch Vision. I mean, the WandaVision, which is Scarlet Witch. And the only reason why I'm excited for that is because that's going to be the first movie that you'll probably need to watch in order to get some insight into the Doctor Strange movie that is going to come out, right? So this show, WandaVision, um, will give you insight into uh, this beautiful movie right here that will be coming out, which is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, the CGI his muscles. Yes. So here's the thing. I have a big speculation. Now, bear with me, everyone, for this one. Here's my speculation for the WandaVision. I'm gonna go back to the picture real quick. Actually, I'm not gonna go back to the picture. I'm gonna bring up a picture, right? Um, Now, in House of M, which is a comic book, Scarlet Witch basically um, manifested a false reality. And we didn't really find that out until like halfway through that series of House of M, right? Well, no, we knew about it since the beginning of House of M, but um, it was just something that was highly baffling to know that she had manifested a reality that affected pretty much everyone, right? Now, I have a theory that one in the not the I keep saying Netflix because I'm so inclined to say Netflix, but it's not a Netflix show. The Disney streaming service show in House will be very close to House of M, where she will kind of manifest a reality that is not real. And the reality that I mean is that Vision is supposed to be in the show, but what if we conclude and he's never been in the show the whole time? He's been dead the whole entire time, but she's been somehow dreaming this up, this reality, this false reality of what's been going on. And the person who's been influencing um, her false reality was none other than Nightmare himself. And again, here's a picture of Nightmare. And this is what leads into Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, right? So, because in House of M, she wasn't influenced by anyone other than herself and her emotions, but you could tell that she is a person who's just in herself in terms of the emotions. So if she's a person who will immerse herself into the emotions and then use her untapped, unbridled potential in a way that we haven't seen, then I'm for it. I am so for it. If by the end of the Netflix streaming show, she has fabricated a reality that is not real, and it's probably not a reality that affects everyone, but just in her close proximity, that she she believes that Vision is there and he's really not there, and they're kind of going about their lives like everything is good, but it's not really good. And the reason why I'm speculating that is because originally I thought WandaVision was going to be a prequel, like what happens in between, um, basically end not Endgame, what happens in between Infinity War and then Endgame, the in between their relationship, right? So it might be that it is a prequel and she's rehashing memories, but at the same time, she's just fabricating a reality that's not real, right? So I don't know. Just speculating. Let me know what you guys think about that. Yeah, so going back um, to the news, we pretty much went through everything. My recommendations for comic books earlier was Blade versus Wolverine, and from manga was Grappler Baki, the remake. They remade the original Grappler Baki manga, and it's great, right? I read chapter one and two, and it's reminiscent of what you've seen. So again, Grappler Baki is martial arts um, manga, and it has had adaptation on a movie and also Netflix. Now, movie, I mean animation-based movie, right? So definitely check that out. And as you see in the middle, the second picture is just a collectible. Let me go back to the collectible. It's a San Diego Comic-Con collectible. So if you're into collectibles and you want to, if you're, well, you're probably, if you are at Comic-Con right now, then you could get this. Um, if not, you know that it's going to come out a little bit later, where you could just order. It's a cool figure. It has the Mark One, his original when he came out the cave, made his own armor, things of that nature. So yeah, excited. My top information that I'm excited for, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Number 2 goes to Blade. Excited for it. I'm excited for the Blade movie because I think that we're we're due justice when it comes to the realm of the underworld and when it comes to vampires and uh, things of that nature, right? I think Blade will be the one to kind of like arc us into a new um just a new aspect in reality, right? When it comes to like werewolves and vampires, predominantly vampires, and we could kind of forget about the old life when it comes to Twilight and all those other movies that made vampires seem like they were just like they're nice people, they're nice people. No, they're not, right? Go play Castlevania. All right, everyone. So, any questions? I'm gonna take a couple questions or just kind of comments before I end the stream. Don't forget to give me a like on the video so I could continue. If you're And let me know, did you enjoy this kind of news version of the live stream? Because I tried to do it in a way where I don't have to do too much editing, but at the same time I could just jam out and talk. I'm just reading. So I'm looking at the chat through my phone. Fabricated reality sounds like an episode of Buffy Vampire Slayer where the trickster demon tricked Buffy into believing Sunnydale was all in her head and she was actually a patient in the hospital. Oh, wow. I didn't really watch Buffy. At the time, TMI, at the time I had a girlfriend who was in love with Buffy, right? So I used to watch it with her, right? Why not? And I'm into all those kind of otherworldly type stuff, demons and werewolves and things. I I feel like, oh man, I feel like I've seen that episode. Was it in the later kind of seasons, like towards the end? But let me tell you, that sounds exactly what I'm thinking of, right? That nightmare is probably like just influencing her thoughts and abilities in a way that will allow her to fabricate some type of reality. Wow, that's really good. Thank you for putting that, Thomas. And the reason why I'm so excited as I read that is because like I'm really thinking and imagining how that could really pan out and play. Oh man, that sounds really good. Huh. Interesting. All right. Oh man, we need to do a theory stream. I think that sounds like a good idea. Like just a I mean, we're kind of doing it right now. We're theorizing based on all these movies, but yeah, that sounds pretty good. Any other comments or thoughts or questions about any of these movies? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna kind of wait it out a little bit and put in some music in the background so that we all could. I just want to put like final comments and things like that before I end the stream. I'm not in a rush to end the stream though, so you know, we could keep going for a long time, to be honest, or at least I can. Um, I'm gonna put up my digital math. Shout out to digital math because I use this song in pretty much any of my intros or outros. I'm gonna put it really low, um, so you hear it in the background. While you guys are thinking of questions or comments, I'm gonna bring out my quick comics that I picked up recently. Now, a lot of the new comic books I did not get. I went to get things that I was missing, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna bring them right now. All right, and these are other recommendations that you could shout out to the comic book community because that's how I know just about this community. It's such an awesome community. So let's put the screen a little bit bigger so I know that I'm capturing it. Ugh, big face, I know. Um, so first I went to pick up Silver Surfer Black. This is a variant cover that basically only comes out in certain stores. So cool variant cover. So of course I went to go get number 2. Um, reason being is because this is a really great story. Um, I won't tell too much, but basically, Silver Surfer at the end of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, now, the new Guardians of the Galaxy team. So if you're wondering like who is the new Guardians of the Galaxy team, um, at least in the comic books right now, it is a wildly powerful team. I'm gonna bring it up right now. This is in the comic books. Um, so it was, yeah. So I have the team right here. Um, this team is ridiculous. So basically, um, at the end of this, let me put on this music because I don't know if the music is too loud. It might be like way too loud, and then you guys were just like, what? So here we go. This picture will represents the new team. So why I just want you to see it so you know. So this team is super powerful, and in the sense of who they have, I love Gladiator, and I love all these other characters, right? So basically, at the end of this comic run, you see uh, basically Silver Surfer kind of saves them, and then falls into just a different universe, I want to say, and he finds Null, who is the god of the symbiotes, and he's trying to get away from it. And at the end of this comic, the most awesome, the most awesome thing happens. Uh, I don't want to spoil it, but I feel like I'm gonna have to spoil what happens at the end of number 2. Someone comes to help him as he's trying to leave Null, because Null turns him into, he puts a symbiote on Silver Surfer, and but then he gets saved by someone, Ego, and Ego is a planet, right? Now we've seen Ego in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie number 2 as Peter Quill's dad, but that's, they changed that for the movies and things of that nature, which is cool. I'm fine with it, right? Um, but he comes to save him, and it's the most the dialogue is just really cool. I'm looking for the picture right now to see if I could see a picture of Ego talking to Silver Surfer, because it is one of the most epic conclusions. I can't find a picture. Um, or I probably could find a picture, but I don't want to. I mean, it is a newer comic book, so they probably won't have too much dialogue or panels online. But yeah, it's just, I'm excited. I'm excited for, I just really love these books, right? It's pretty cool. Um, I'm eager to see how the story will develop. All right, I'll put up the music a little bit. Let me check in the chat. Um, I love Blade in the 90s, and I'm excited to see the vampires I love from such films as 30 Days. Oh, what? Oh man, Thomas Wayne, you know your stuff. 30 Days of Night and Lost Boys, but the actor better step up his fighting skills to fill in the shoes. Yes, so wonderful point. That was the only aspect of Ali's character that I had a little bit of gripe from, right? And he's just like, I hope right now he's training. That's 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 my hope. I hope that right now he is doing what he needs to do in order to prepare to get kind of like buffed up. And I think they I think they'll be able to do it. I think they'll do it. I really think they'll do it in a way that makes sense. They'll give him one of the best nutrition experts, personal trainers, and they'll do exactly what is needed, right? Um, But yeah, any other comments or questions before we end the stream? I'm gonna end the stream in about I'll say 11:30, in about 4 more minutes. So if there's any questions, let me know. I'm excited. I'm excited for all these movies actually. Like I'm excited for Blade and Doctor Strange, but I'm excited for all of them overall. I think they're just they're just gonna be a good time, right? All right, so I'm gonna play the song because it's exactly the length of me closing out the stream, which is 4 minutes and 26 seconds. So it'll go a little bit over, but yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna show you some other comic books in the meantime while we wait. While you listen to my intro / outro song. Alright, so other recommendations. We only briefly talked about DC, but Doomsday Clock. This is number 9 out of 12. This story is pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. Excited for it. I went out to get this because I really wanted this cover, just because I love the art on the cover. Okay. Next, I have shout out to my indies. Now, I didn't do indie recommendations, but if you're into indies, grab this book. It's called Black. I went to get this about 2 years ago at in Harlem. In Harlem, they had the African American comic book convention, and this is created by Azajefo and Smith. I got it signed, all 3 books, and the premise for this comic book is basically what if we lived in a world where African Americans had superpowers, and they still went through the trials and tribulations, but even more so because now they have that mutagenic aspect on them as having powers. All right, let me check the chat real quick. William Ren, you said, do you think enough time will have passed for fans to separate Ali from Luke Cage? Here's the thing. I think so. And I think there's enough time has passed. But I think the people who have been watching the Netflix, all right, here's what I mean by that. There's a large majority of people who watch. Hey, what's up, Nerdy Blurb TV? What's going on? So to answer your question, I do think there's a close-knit people who remember Luke Cage and stay dedicated to him being Cottonmouth in the Netflix series. But I do think that he is somewhat forgettable in the sense of that people won't really mind him crossing over and being another character, right? Because to be honest, I'm gonna be super honest with you, the Netflix series, even though they were part of the universe, they were kind of, Disney is kind of pushing them out as if they weren't part of the universe. And the reason why I'm saying that is because they didn't really mention anything. They only mentioned the event, right, in New York. They never really specifically mentioned any names of characters or any specific events. So him crossing over will be fine. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, right? But yeah, let me know what you think about that. I do agree with Thomas Wayne in saying that he definitely needs to, the character who plays Blade, let me put up the picture. I'm kind of cycling through the same pictures in the stream, but it's all right because more people are coming on. I think he's perfect character to play Blade. I just think that they need to make sure that his martial arts, or just his ability to fight, his choreography just needs to be on point. If they get some on point choreography and camera angles, they'll be fine. Um, all right, let me check the chat. I didn't watch Luke Cage, but I saw the previews and I saw the show where of him, Iron Fist, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones team. Oh, the Defenders. I didn't enjoy the Defenders. I thought that was like super rushed and just like mashed together. I enjoyed the heck out of Daredevil, but yeah. Let me see. Nerdy Blurb TV said so is this a Blade reboot movie? I heard, or just no? It's a movie, my friend. It's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie. Um, so this to be determined the date, but this is happening. Uh, yeah, Thomas Wayne. It was definitely rushed. That Defenders was, ah man, it was. I don't know. I'm super optimistic, hence the name Zen in terms of my name for my channel. And a lot of people think I'm very Zen. I'm super optimistic, but the show wasn't well put together. It was a lot of it was just mashed. You know what I mean? It was mashed, and um, yeah, I think storylines didn't really clash really well. Acting was not too good. Now, if let's quickly go back to the Netflix series because not all of them were bad, right? I think the majority of them I really enjoyed. I think I really enjoyed. Um, so this was the Defenders. Let me just shift my picture down. Um, okay. So Luke Cage, I enjoyed season one. Season two, I didn't watch. I didn't watch season two. Um, but I know Bushmaster was the kind of the final person. Um, now Daredevil, I watched all the seasons. I loved it. Um, season three was a little. Season two was a little slow to me, but season three picked it right back up. And but season one, I fell in love with. Iron Fist, I only watched the first three episodes and I dropped it. I dropped it. Let me go back to chat because it's popping. It's popping. Nerdy Blurb TV. I actually like the Defenders. I knew that it would be like what it was for. Okay, I respect that. I respect that. If you enjoyed it, I just thought it could have been a little bit longer or well fleshed out. But I get it. Maybe I might see it later. Been thinking about it. The Jessica did not like Jessica Jones. I didn't see three. I didn't see season three for Jessica Jones, and and the reason being is because season two just really turned me off. Right, season two was just really bland. I wish she was better at detective work. It didn't seem like she was good at anything. Sorry. um, like if it was like an episode of Law and Order coupled with a little bit of hint of sprinkle of superpowers, then I would enjoy the heck out of it. But I really enjoyed season one of Jessica Jones, and I think it was because Purple, what was it? Is it Purple Man? The Purple Man, he drive the show so much that I really just enjoyed it, right? So yeah, dang, I enjoyed Iron Fist, but it's low on the list. Yeah, that's just my opinion. If you enjoyed it, then um then you enjoyed it, right? I didn't enjoy it because I'm gonna tell you why I didn't enjoy it. Not because of the character, not because of the acting, but I felt like it was a downplay on martial arts because there wasn't enough martial arts in it to kind of respect the character himself, right? But that might be the bias in me, right? Um, and the reason why I'm saying the bias in me is because I've read some of the Iron Fist comics, and sometimes that bias will leak into my ideals of where Iron Fist should be, and that's pretty much it though. But overall, I enjoyed the Jessica Jones season one. I really enjoyed it. Um, yeah, too much PC in Jessica Jones. Agreed. Iron Fist should have had the fight scenes from Daredevil. Yeah, you know what? They had a whole different stunt and choreography team. Like I wish that those teams had worked together. Like if they had the same team from Daredevil and put it in all of the shows, I think that would have changed the aspect of the shows, except for season two of Jessica Jones. It was not good. It was not good at all. And season three, I can't even review it because I didn't even watch it because I was so turned off. Um, Luke Cage, I really enjoyed season one. Daredevil, I enjoyed seasons all, and that's about it. Let me check the chat again. I thought season two of Iron Fist fixed that and had a lot more fighting. Huh. You know what? To tell you the truth, Nerdy Blurb TV, I didn't finish season two. So, but I did like a lot of the side characters um, in Iron Fist. So maybe I should go back and conclude, right? I think I need to do it fair justice and just go back and finish it. I might do a little bit of that today, right? To kind of qualm my thirst for all of these movies that are coming out. Daredevil and Punisher, two of the baddest. Oh, I forgot. I forgot about Punisher. Oh man, I love Punisher. Jeez. Oh man, how could I have forgotten about Punisher? Whew, Punisher. I'm saying it like it's my best friend. Hey, Punisher. Um, let's bring up a quick picture of it. Wow, it was a stellar show, right? When they when we talk about um, perfect just casting, this is Punisher. Now, I don't care about all the other movies that passed and went away. Um, this is definitely Punisher, but I'm gonna tell you all something though. I'm so hyped for it, but I did not see season two. Same thing with Nerdy Blurb. I didn't see season two. I saw season one and I enjoyed it, and I think work life got in the way, and now I'm on vacation, which is why you're seeing like a lot of videos from me. Um, and I kind of forgot about it, so I want to get back into it. I I enjoyed Punisher, the heck out of Punisher. It was great. It just sucks that he's not going to be a character that we see in the future Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, we may see him. Like if they do have a Punisher movie, please recast what's his name? John Brethol, I believe. Yeah. Oh man. Punisher was great. Thank you for reminding me about that. I have loved Punisher from the first comic to the Dolph Lundgren movie, all of the movies to the Netflix. Yeah, they were all pretty good. They were all pretty good. But John Brethel, woo, this is Punisher right here. Uh, oh man, yeah. Work life always in the way of videos. LOL. I'm currently on my break on making videos, but gonna get back. I miss it so much. Yeah, this like within the last 2 weeks since I've been on vacation, I've been able to get back into just video making and kind of tinkering with different things. So like the last 2 weeks have been experiment after experiment. Me like streaming from like playing some games. I love horror games, so I usually stream like horror games and things of that nature. Doing the retro games and things. But I would say that is experimentation from making videos because it is an inner passion for me. You know what I mean? In terms of like creativity, and I love it. I love it. And I love it even more because I get a chance to kind of like connect with you all, with the community, and kind of like build upon it, right? So we could just like jam out on a Sunday and just talk about comic books, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Wooing Ren, talking about Batman will beat everyone. It's just good times. You know what I mean? Just good times. Um, Oh yeah, people do forget about the Dolph Lundgren version, right? I don't. I remember him for uh, him being more than just in Rocky 4, right? He was He-Man, he was the Punisher, he was a lot of other characters too. Dolph Lundgren is the man. Um, so yeah, whew, I definitely went over the time in the stream, but again, like I said before, I'm not in a rush. I don't mind jamming out and hanging out with you guys here on a Sunday. It is hot, it is blazing, which is why I have my water next to me. Um, but yeah, interesting news segment. So if this news kind of hangout, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, He-Man. I loved it. I thought it was like one of the the best iterations, and it made sense. Thomas Wayne, you know me already. I'll say I'm gonna end the stream in like 2 minutes, and then I'll go for another 2 hours. But you know what it is though? You guys keep my interest for like continuing, and that's what, like when Thomas Wayne, you helped me to beat that game the other night, and I kept on playing because it was just like just good times. So it was amazing. Oh no, I appreciate you, Nerdy Blurb. Um, oh no, definitely. This community, the community is just like amazing. The comic book community is just amazing. And while I'm not predominantly only comic books, it is what center lines everything, right? I'm thinking I probably got to change my name soon, because I'm doing manga, but I'm not doing too much manga. It's mostly like comic books, so I need to change it to like Zen Comics or just leave it at Zen. But I'm pretty sure someone already has that name online. So yeah. Um, and going back to the He-Man, I thought the Dolph Lundgren iteration was really good because they didn't try to capture it in their own universe. They just, they went into the main New York, I guess, universe, and it was just their characters in our world, which made sense, and it didn't make it. We weren't looking for things that we didn't need to look for because they just crossed over, so it was great. Yeah, it was pretty. There are certain movies that were kind of ahead of their time. Back to the Future was a really good movie. Um, things of that nature. That's just kind of like a side note, right? All right. So, any other questions, comments, concerns? Um, John Brethel is just like looking at us like I'm the Punisher. Um, we talked about all of these movies coming out, these Marvel movies coming out, Comic Con. I Comic Con was just good for certain news. When it comes to Marvel Cinematic Universe, everything else, you know, movies. I want to see a new He-Man, but not a remake. Oh, I hear that. I hear that. I hear that totally. Um, so yeah, we know about the Thor, Love and Thunder, new Thor coming, um, and with aggressively, um, we were talking about it a lot earlier. Aggressively relaxing, we were talking about it, and he put up some good theories about how she may get the hammer or get a hammer, so to speak. So it's pretty cool. Um, what's up, Infinity Geeks? I think they're gonna announce the rest of Phase 4 at D23. Yep, that makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Thor, Jane Foster, she's gonna get a hammer. Originally in the stream, I was thinking I forgot that Majora went back to its own dimension and reality, so there is no more Majora. And if correct me if I'm wrong, Stormbreaker doesn't need someone to be worthy in order to pick up that hammer. So I don't think that Jane Foster is going to utilize, or she may utilize Stormbreaker, but I think she may get her own hammer. And aggressively relaxing earlier said, I had to scroll back up to the comment. He said that at the end of War of Realms, she gets some kind of bracelet artifact where she's able to change it into different weapons. And if they're in Thor Love and Thunder, if she gets some kind of artifact and she kind of like says like, well, I want to turn it into something that makes me you know, feel empowered like Thor, then of course she's gonna forge it into a hammer, so to speak, right? So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see where that might go. Um, let's see. Anything else? Anything else to talk about before we end the stream? Any questions? Okay. Um, any lasting comments? I'm gonna put on my intro song. If you have any other comments, let me know. What are your thoughts about this stream? Do you like these live type of news streams where we just kind of talk about the news when it comes to comic books, things of that nature? Because if you do, I will continue doing streams like this. Reading Ren, I appreciate you, my brother. Thomas Wayne, do I like spinach? I don't. I don't like spinach at all. I don't. I don't like spinach, but I know it's healthy for me, so I force myself to eat it. But yeah. All right. Last question. I always pose this question. Actually, I'll change it up. I'll change up the question for the ending of the stream question. Thank you, Thomas. I'm definitely going to do more questions. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do more streams like this. I'm actually probably going to do another stream later on today, actually. And because there's a lot of things that I wanted to talk about in the stream, but I didn't feel like it was relevant to talk about it in just one stream. And what it is a theory. We were talking about theories a little bit earlier, but I want to get into kind of a theory video where we could just talk about and theorize two things, not just the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also the DC Universe, right? Where is it going? We know Shazam came out, a couple of things, but yeah, where's it going? All right, so we're talking about Kale in the stream. Oh, the question is, everyone drop your favorite superhero in the comments, in the chat. What's everyone's favorite superhero? And it could be from any of the multiverse, right? When I say, any of the omniverse. When I say the omniverse, that's pretty much anything, right? It could be manga, it could be pretty much anything, really. So your favorite superhero. All right, Thomas Wayne, Batman, of course, right? Thomas Wayne. Let's see. What's everyone else's? I'm gonna drop mine soon. I'll be the last one to drop my favorite superhero. I have, oh man, it's really hard. I have two. I have one from DC and one from Marvel. So I'm gonna, yeah. I do too. Yeah, see, this is why we have to have a whole nother stream. We're gonna do that a little bit later. I'm probably gonna do the stream at about listen, I only laughed because you said don't laugh. Quail Man from Doug Cartoon. Oh man, Quail Man was pretty cool. He was a stellar character. And I'm not being sarcastic either. I always thought his inclusion in the series was pretty cool. And there was always some kind of lesson to, you know, I thought he was a cool character. I'm only laughing because you said don't laugh. Oh man. Yeah, so we have Batman, we have Quail Man. Definitely want to see more Thomas Wayne. Is there any, I mean, there's other people in the chat, but, oh, what's up, Steven? What's going on? What's going on? Steven, before we end the stream, you have to answer this question. Who's your favorite superhero? Type that in the chat. Community flows. The Zen core. So, Steven, what's your favorite superhero? You still gotta answer the question before we end the stream. We were supposed to end the stream about like an hour ago, but you know how I am. It could be anyone from the it could be anyone from the omniverse. So that means any universe. So it could be from DC, it could be from Marvel, it could be manga, it could be the cartoon realm. So far Thomas Wayne said Batman, and William Ren, he said Doug, or Quail Man, sorry, Quail Man, potato chips. Um, oh boy. This is why I can't end the stream, because of the good laughs and the good times, you know? Supposed to end the stream like a long time ago. Um, Let me see. Let me change this picture. Thor and Love and Thunder. All right. Quick pick, my boy. We already know he's gonna be Mr. Fantastic, without a doubt. Without a doubt. All right. While Steve is thinking, I'm gonna drop my favorite superhero from the Marvel universe. Favorite superhero from the Marvel universe. He's underrated, but I don't care. He's not super all powerful, and it goes to. I gotta bring up a picture. That's what I got to. No, I don't gotta bring up a picture. It goes to Cyclops of the X-Men. His story has changed so much over the years. They made him into a bad guy, like he doesn't know what he's doing. But he's always been my favorite. He's always been my favorite superhero, on the Marvel side, at least, or in the Omniverse. Thomas Wayne, is that is you? Listen, all right. So we have two Batmans from Steven and from Thomas Wayne. Both have Batman as their favorite character. So we have Batman and Batman. We have Quail Man, and we have Cyclops. You know, that would make a pretty good team. It would make a pretty good team. Um, yeah, that would be a stellar team. All right, everyone. So I'm gonna hop off this stream. Hope you all enjoyed the stream. I definitely enjoyed myself. I'm just kind of jamming out with you, mind jamming, and just like good laughs about the upcoming Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and what's happening. Um, Definitely drop me a like, subscribe, and share the video, or just share with people who you think would be interested in a stream where we just connect. We have good times. We talk about random stuff sometimes, such as spinach, like we did earlier. And I will catch everyone later. Wait, hold on. Back to the stream. I, I'm not gonna watch One Piece, man. Even though the Wano arc, for those of you who don't know, One Piece is an anime and it's a manga. The first iteration was a manga. It's really good in the sense of popularity. I can't say that it's really good, but I know it's really good. But Steve wants me to watch it. But it's about 800 episodes plus, and that is overwhelming to me. Um, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna hop off the stream. As promised, I'm gonna do another stream, a theories stream later, when it comes to the Marvel cinematic universe and also the DC universe cinematic universe. I'm gonna start at 5. I know I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Batman would have already found his way his way around Scott's mute. All right, all right. See, hold on to that. Hold on to that. Hold on to it, because we're not gonna discuss it right now. We're gonna discuss it in a later stream, 5 o'clock. We are gonna debate and theorize in terms of superheroes versus superheroes, villains versus villains, and the aspect of where the future of everything is going, right? Because I would love to debate who would beat who in a battle. Now, honestly, Thomas Wayne, I'm going to quickly say that Batman would win in that fight. I'm not going to debate about it, but I would love to debate about it a little bit later. Uh, because there are ways. There are ways, right? There are ways. All right. Quick. It's true. God use up over everything. Mr. Glass is the greatest villain. No, I I don't like Mr. Glass at all. At all. uh, I was talking about that yesterday. Listen, you guys stop talking if you want me to end the stream. No, I'm just kidding. But I am out of here. Get your thoughts, your favorite superheroes, super villains. Who do you think would win in a battle a little bit later on? Because I definitely want to mind jam about it a little bit later. About 5 o'clock. Watch out for that theory and versus debate stream. This is Zen Manga saying peace, love, prosperity. Drop that like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when the stream is about to pop up, right? It's that little bell that just looks randomly there. All right, everyone, take care.